Hello guys, you know me, and I'm here with a lovely man from Total War Warhammer. Who are you and what do you do?
My name is Ian Roxburgh. I'm the Game Director for Total War Warhammer 2.
So I can pick your brains on all the unrevealed stuff about the game so far, and you're going to tell me absolutely everything.
Yes.
Okay, lovely. So let's start with the biggest secret there ever was. Skaven confirmed. Obviously, a really unique race, and I think that really rounds off the four now that we've got. Were you excited about doing Skaven as a race?
Yeah. Skaven was always something we knew a large chunk of our fan base and the Warhammer fan base as well was really excited about seeing in the game, so it's something we've really looked forward to. And it's such a crazy, diverse race as well. It's given us a lot of opportunity to really do some interesting gameplay things with them as well. So you find all across Warhammer 2, the 4 races now, they are so different and diverse from each other, much more so than even in Warhammer 1. We've had a lot of things we can play with, lots of interesting, different flavour through the races, and the Skaven really are, the cream of the crop for that.
So obviously, like you say, Lizardmen, again, very, very different. They are humanoid in a sense, but they've got tails and they've got lovely animations to them. Whereas before you've got humans, elves, chaos, which are basically just humans, but now you've kind of got really unique looking units. And I've also noticed that every army has some kind of special ability.
Yep.
So can you tell us a little bit about those?
Well, there's a new feature we put in called Army Abilities, which are basically abilities that can be used on the army level, so they're not attached to a particular lord or hero. So if you perform rites or things within the campaign game, you can get this ability across any of your armies wherever you're fighting. Mm-hmm. It can be attached to provinces or to having cast a rite. And the idea is that you can get some of those more miscellaneous race-flavoured abilities into a battle without them having to be something you've learnt from a particular lord. And it creates a lot more diversity in the way you might fight battles. Mm-hmm. One example of this is the Menace Below feature that the Skaven have that's unique to them, which is depending on how much Skaven corruption has occurred in the area and a few skills that you might upgrade, when you go into a battle you'll have a few charges where you can cast this spell and effectively Skaven erupt from the ground, and it simulates the idea that they can come from anywhere. But it really augments the way you might use the Skaven in battle, because if you've got archers shooting down, you've certainly in the early game you've got a lot of rats that are numerous but don't have much armour, and so they're very vulnerable to missile fire. But you've got this Menace Below feature where they can suddenly spawn rats out the ground and smother archers.
So you can just pop up underneath the archers and just get rid of them. Yeah.
So it's one of those mechanisms that we can kind of overcome some of the shortcomings and the difficulty that Skaven would otherwise face, but you've got this feature that goes in there and does that, and it's a real flavourful way of bringing that idea of the Skaven who can just erupt from under the ground and they permeate from anywhere in the world.
So obviously this is Total War Warhammer 2 now, and one of the big things for this game is that you're essentially going to stitch this game to the original game, and with the mega campaign, are the original races going to get their own mega kind of abilities, or? Yeah,
across the board what we're looking to do is we're updating some of the previous races, and we'll do that increasingly as well as we evolve through DLC for Warhammer 2. So as much as we can, we're updating the previous races, but we're very excited about the idea of the mega campaign, because right from the word go, when we did the deal with Workshop and we started reading all these army books, it was like, there's just so much here. We can't do it in one game, and we knew that we as a studio, as well as all our fans, would really want to see all of these races in one massive world. And so we put together this plan of the mega campaigns coming out each and every time we released a new game, and doing it for free as well, which is really nice. So it's a large chunk of what we're doing now is to accommodate this, but it's really exciting that you get to play as Empire or whatever against all these races in this mega world. And
so obviously the Vortex is a big part of the campaign in Total War Warhammer 2. Is that going to be in the mega campaign? So could I do the Vortex objective as Carl leading the Bretonnians?
No, the Vortex is very specific.
The Empire, sorry.
The The Vortex is very specific to the main campaign in Warhammer 2.
Okay.
When we do the mega campaign, it becomes a bit more generic again, because obviously there's so much content going in. I mean, the Vortex campaign is still very sandbox. I mean, we're not ever going to push people down a linear path, but there is that narrative thread and the Vortex and the new features that give you that background idea of what you might want as an achievement. But the mega campaign goes back to a bit more generic stuff. So
okay. And what about spells? Because I've noticed that from what I've played, the spells feel quite powerful. Whereas one of my criticisms of the first game would have been that some of the spells were a little bit, felt like you're just going, you know, and they weren't really doing much damage. But the Hydra, I tore through like some archers with the Hydra's flame blast and stuff, and so I was like, wow, okay, they're actually kind of pumping up even if it's just visual and it's just all in my head, but it feels like you kind of feel a bit more relaxed about making those things more powerful.
Yeah, maybe to some extent, but ultimately, you know, the new stuff will still balance with the old stuff as well. So we're not just sort of taking it in isolation and just going to sort of make them overpowered. But that may mean also some of the older races get a bit of a bump up to keep them on a level. So the whole series, each individual game, and obviously the mega campaign and all the races are all balanced amongst themselves. But what you're saying about the magic as well, what we didn't want to do for Warhammer 1 and we still wouldn't want to do for Warhammer 2 is overpower the magic, because we don't want people to just go in and just micromanage magic and then it's all over. You know, it's got to find that way of using the right spell at the right time can turn the tide of battle, and you know what I mean. And it feels
if you could summon like a fireball and just deal with all of their archers, then suddenly that's not fair. Like,
so it's finding that balance, and but yeah, all the new stuff that's in the game will still balance alongside the old stuff.
Okay, lovely. And I've also heard some whispers on the wind that Free For All is back in multiplayer.
Yeah.
Any other tidbits about multiplayer that's new, or?
Free For All is the main thing. I mean, it's something that our fans have wanted for a while now, and we've always really wanted to be able to do that. And there's some interesting gameplay choices in there that we've made. So the idea that you gain points, you're actually taking casualties and dishing out casualties. So you can't just sit back and let everyone else fight and then mop up at the end. You actually have to get involved. We've done quite a lot of early play testing and got some fans in and got some feedback, and everyone's really loving it. So we're really excited about how that's going to go down. My favourite Total War experience was Shogun 2 and the multiplayer map and playing with my friends and like conquering the little bits of Japan and stuff. I'd always dreamed for that for Total War, and I guess it's not going to be in Total War 2, but is that something you've considered for the franchise? Yes. Okay, so it's not going to be in Warhammer 2. But this is a trilogy. So all I will say is that we are talking and planning already about what Warhammer 3 will have and what the trilogy as a whole will have by the time we've done the third one. So watch this space, but we certainly look to revisit some old things that maybe haven't been seen for a while.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Total War Warhammer 2. We'll be playing it on Twitch a lot, and really like the little rat people and the Lizardmen.
Cheers,
thank you. Some lovely tidbits of information there. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see some more, there's 2 lovely annotated videos above of 2 quest battles, one of the Skaven and one of the Dark Elves. Thanks to Ian for the interview. Hit like if you did, leave me a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Good memes!